Hello everyone, Joe Malone here. It is Dallas Trading Floor, and it is live on YouTube. Also, we're on Twitch at Twitch TV/Dallas Trading Floor. We're also on Periscope at pscp.tv/Dallas Trading Floor, and of course we're on TikTok at TikTok /at JKMALONE. So the market has recovered some, which is tremendous because it was pulling down, but it looks like it has bounced. We're still in a little bit of a situation with a we're not in a totally out of the woods yet. We are still in we're uptrend under pressure, so I want to be very clear about that. It's still, you have to be very careful about initiating new positions right now because it is definitely under pressure. It is not time to be fully invested right now, but the market is up. And if you'll notice, the NASDAQ is up 1.27% when this slide was taken, or about $140, so that's very good. Also, the S&P 500 is up, as well as the Dow. And so it looks like we may be on the mend here. So that is a good thing that is happening right now. And you know, it's ready to start possibly redeploying some capital. I know that I went into Tesla on Friday, and then on Monday, I haven't made any buys on Tesla today. It's up significantly, but I did make a small buy on Newmont Mining, which is one of the gold stocks, and it's doing quite well. It's just come out of a cup with handle formation, and so hopefully it'll move higher. I'm hoping that. It looks pretty good, and I want to show you that in just a sec. Basically, I'll show you the Qs. This is the ETF that is for the NASDAQ. It's the NASDAQ 100. It's the 100 largest stocks in the NASDAQ. Of course, it has Microsoft. It has Apple. It has a lot of the good stocks in here. Also, this one does have Tesla in it, whereas the S&P 500 does not. If you'll notice, it bounced off of the 50-day moving average. This is very significant. We went down on Friday, and then we kind of bounced, and then so we're now making a movement upward. So I suspect if this trend holds, and we don't have a reversal here, we ought to see over 300 on the NASDAQ ascending into the election. So it looks like for the next few months, we may have an ascending market right into the election. That would be kind of incredible, but because it does look like it significantly bounced off of the 40-day moving average. Now, this is a technical, you know, and one thing is a little bit concerning is that the volume is down about 20%, but it's up $4, and the key level that the Qs went through was 275. So that's a very significant number there. And it's very significant because I do believe it portends, at least into the election, an up market. So we'll still see if that holds for true or not. But here is the spider. This is the S&P 500. This is the largest ETF in the world. Now, many people have their entire retirement in this fund. It is by far the largest ETF in the world, and it is at 340. Very significant because it was in the 330 level. Really, the fact that it is moved beyond that level, the 334 level is where the trend line is, and it's moved up. This is the third day it's moved up, and it looks like it may recover some of this 340 level and possibly even to 350. The 340 level is very important on the spider because the 340 level is where the spider was prior to the COVID-19 meltdown. As you remember, in February it moved down at the low point. That was March 23rd. It actually was at, believe it or not, 211. So it's come up just tremendously since then. Just an amazing amount. But it is up to the same level, essentially, that it was at prior to the downturn, the COVID-19 downturn. So we could be seeing actually this thing go higher, which would be portend very well. That we did have a little bit of an adjustment. Now the question is, how long will that last? I don't know, but that adjustment is significant. Also, I do believe that we are coming into a period very quickly when people may be interested in the gold shares because we do have some interest in that, and there is a very top-rated stock. This is now in the small portfolio. Just wanted to show you. It's called Newmont Mining, Newmont Corp. Now it's called. I did purchase this for the small portfolio today. It's got a composite rating of 97. It comes off a very nice cup with handle. This is the cup here. It's not drawn in here, but this is the cup and this is the handle. So this is a very good chart pattern. We're looking. It is bound. It is range bound currently. So we will see if it moves beyond about 63, 60 to 69. If it does, I think then we may be off to the races with Newmont. But we'll see. It's in the small portfolio, so hopefully we'll be able to see it there. And I'll show that to you in just a second here. So that's in our SHEETS. And by the way, this small portfolio is available for everyone to see. You need to send for a link, and then we'll send you a link. You can definitely see it. So it's kind of an interesting thing to look at. And here's currently what we have in the small portfolio as we speak. So here it's going to draw up there we go, the portfolio here. So basically, what we have here on the small portfolio is we have a majority in Tesla. I basically went into this on Monday. On Friday, and then we've moved. We only have 3 shares, but it is 1 full position, if you'll notice. And by the way, we have 8 positions in any portfolio. There's 8 positions, so I've calculated that. That's done pretty well. We're up about 18% in 3 days, so that's pretty good. We went into Oracle right when there was the announcement, basically yesterday, actually. Before Monday, there was an announcement that they were going to purchase. TikTok. So we went into that. It was right at a buy point. The buy point being 60.50. So we were a little bit above that. We went in but a little bit before the buy point with 14 shares. And again, that's 1 full position. So we're up about 3% in 3 days. So that's not bad either. And then we also went in today with Newmont Mining. Now we're off a little bit. We're off, slightly less than 0%. That does seem to be adjusting. There is a buy point. The buy point on that, and I'll just show you that down here. We have the watch list that we keep going. The Newmont Mining buy point here is 64.54 is the buy point on Newmont, so we're just slightly below that. Current price on it 67.72, and I just put another one on here, and I think you might be very interested in this one. It's a little extended. I'm trying to buy this in a buy zone. I haven't been able to successfully buy this yet. That's DraftKings at 17 shares. So if you're interested in this, in getting sort of access to this, it's super easy. All you have to do is go to the website, dallastradingfloor.com, and sign up for the small portfolio. Then it just sends you a link, and you can look at it anytime. And it's as I've been trading it, and we're going to be adding some nice features to that, alerts and what's coming on and off the watch list when it's in the buy zone, that kind of thing, and how I'm going to be trading a lot of this stuff. So it might be very helpful for you. And of course, it's all free. So that's another great thing about it. Also, if you like to sign up for the action trade alerts, they are available as well. And again, just go to dallastradingfloor.com, and just it's in the top left-hand corner. You need first and last name, and also email address, and we'll get right on the list, and we'll get right out to you. So, kind of fun there to see those kind of things as they happen. So let's see about some questions, because everybody's interested in that. So let's look at the first question. Mate, you just provided some incorrect analysis. Okay, well, I stand corrected. I stand corrected. But this is based on the CanSlim method, which is William O'Neill. and there's a lot of opinions out there. So I do base it on MarketSmith charts typically, and they are what's used by William O'Neill and Company. So that is how I do it. So we have a difference of opinion. I totally understand that. How do you deal with Tesla and battery day? Well, basically, what I did with Tesla is I came in to Tesla a little bit earlier than probably you would. As I was saying, when I did the shows on how Tesla would trade, I basically was in Tesla up until it was split day. That was August the 31st. I then sold my positions right before the split, and then I've waited to get back in. I've just recently started accumulating. My first buy was at 343, and then I have moved up since then. My average price right now is 383, and currently it's up. It's up in the fours. I knew it would pull back and then move back up, so I will probably be in it for a while, and we will see until we see some resistance. But as I indicated when I was talking about this several weeks ago, of how it traded, and I kind of want to show that to people because I think it's very indicative of how a split trades, and that could be very interesting. A very interesting study. So let me just see if I can give you a idea on that. Oh, that's the Tesla 4-day trade. Okay, let me pull that one back up here for you. Here, just a second. Let me pull this up. Open. Right, and let's see if I can give that. Oh, I don't see if I can do that. Okay, well maybe not. All right. Well. Yeah, I guess I can't get that. I will get that at another time for you. So, how do we deal with Tesla and battery day? Well, I do think that anytime you have a big event, I probably will be holding Tesla through the battery day. I won't probably sell it before. I may sell it before. Typically, when there's a big an event like battery day or something like that, I typically like to hold it right up in anticipation of the event, then sell it and see what happens. If there's a pullback, then I'm a buyer again. So that's typically what I like to do with these with these plays, is that I will hold them into the event, and then right before the event I will sell, and then if there's a pullback, and there usually is, by the way, because there's an old adage, buy on rumor, sell on news, and it definitely holds for this. And let's take a look just as Tesla is trading currently. If you're watching my show, you'll know that I was indicating that there would be a pullback. I started buying right here, basically started on Friday buying, when it did reach with a half position, and then I went in with two full positions as it crossed the 21-day moving average. Typically, this is what will happen. It'll pull back, and then as it starts to accelerate, when it crosses this 21-day, that's basically a buy signal, and it moves up. So how far will this move up? I don't know, but I do believe we will probably see it up to maybe as much as 475 by battery day. So we'll see if it makes it beyond 500. Again, 500 tends to be kind of the peak. That tends to be where the pullback was. Typically with Tesla, there's a lot of shorts. You have to be careful, as they tend to run it up, and then it pulls back, and then it runs up again. So that's been sort of how it is traded. It's been trading. So let's take a question from TikTok. Will Tesla break 500 before the end of the month? I don't think so. Not based on the chart that I have, anyways. I do believe that it will be. It probably will be in about the 4. I'm figuring that there is some resistance right at about the 475 level for Tesla, and I do think that that's where it's probably going to. It'll probably move to that. Now, that could be too conservative. I do think that Tesla does have a lot of power, and if you look at the channel, and I don't know if I can draw the channel in here. Let me see if I can get the drawing tool to draw the channel. Let's see if I can draw that channel. Hold on. This is markups. All right, and let's see if we can put. Well, I got to learn how to use this tool. But anyways, the channel shows that it probably will be at about 475 by battery day. And afterwards, I don't know. I probably will sell and then wait to see what happens if it pulls back. And if it pulls back, then I'll buy it again and hopefully move it up. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it to trade it. What about UAVS? Good question. Let's take a look at UAVS. Let's just do a quick look at that. At that chart, UAVS. There we go. There we go, and that's Age Oracle Systems. Okay, this is essentially a penny stock. You know, it's interesting. I know that, you know, it's got a very good relative strength rating. I did put this out on my under $10 list, by the way. This was on the under $10 list, so this, I do kind of like this one. It looks like it's hugging the 40-day moving average, but the 21-day is moving down. So right now, it's not in a position to buy it. Let's see if it bounces off the 40-day moving average. That would be. Let's see if it turns let's see if it goes back above 277. If it goes back above 277, I think that you could potentially buy that. But I wouldn't at this point. I would wait on this one. I would wait on this one until we got a confirmation with heavier volume above 277. So right now I wouldn't buy, but I would maybe get an order queued up, get it ready to buy at about 277. But that's kind of where I'm looking at it based on the chart. And thank you very much for the question, and thank you for actually looking at my under $10 list, because you know there's some gems in there actually. I want to kind of put your attention to one that I thought had a very good chart pattern. Was brought to me by an associate, well, actually by actually a fellow person that signed up for Dallas Trading Floor, and that is Nautilus. Very interesting stock, and as Peloton has done so well, I think Nautilus may do as well. It has quite a good chart. So that one is a low priced one that you might want to consider as well. Talking about low price, well, not really that low price, but interesting stocks that I've been looking at currently. Did you know that DraftKings, DKNS, looks like it has just broken out? So I want to show you this chart, because even though it is extended, DraftKings, DKNS, is looking pretty good actually. Let's see if I can. It'll be looking a lot better if I can get the charts tip pattern right. I mean, if I can get the symbol right. So DKNS. All right, DraftKings. Well, DRK. Why is that not giving me that? Okay, well, let's go over here to the small portfolio, and I can see it right now. DKNG. I'm sorry, DKNG is the symbol. So let me bring that up. DKNG. There we go. All right, DraftKings. Let's take a quick look at this one. I know that nobody's asking about this one, but this is one that you might want to put on your watch list. I do think it's just done a breakout, but it's pulled back. This is very typical. I may have purchased this in the buy zone. If you'll notice, there's a blue kind of area here. I don't know if you can see this. By the way, if you're watching on TikTok, I'm simulcasting this on YouTube. It's youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. You'll notice that it gapped up tremendously, and then it's pulled back. There may be a buy on this pullback. I am trying to buy it right at the top of this, right at the top of the buy zone. So we'll see if that happens or not. It doesn't really have a complete cup with handle formation. It's essentially a consolidation pattern, but it's not a bad one. And this is one that you might want to put on your list. DKNG, DraftKings. I do think you're going to do very well. It's been a pretty successful stock, and so anyways, it's just something that that you'll like. Yo. Well, thank you, Marcin. I appreciate that. Thanks for watching. I'm glad somebody's watching out there. Lost 4K with case of this week. Missed the opportunity to recover loss. Ouch. Oh, I'm sorry, Mohammed. Oh, you know what might help, and I don't know. You know, I'm not always right on these things, but If you watch the way I'm trading in the small portfolio, I'm trading Tesla in the small portfolio. So if you want to go ahead and possibly look to see how I'm trading it, then it's super easy. All you have to do is go to the website and sign up there. And if you're signed up there, then also look to see also to look to see it. So how I'm. Let's see if I can hide that. Oh, I can't do that. Okay, why is it doing that? Okay, there we go. Look to see how I'm trading it, because that might give you some insight on timing. Timing is hard. I mean, that's why I go to the charts. That's why I use the charts, because even the very, very best stocks like Tesla, I mean, they're so erratic in terms of the way they trade. And Tesla especially, you got to have your entry points and your exit points. That's always why I recommend everybody, please, if you go into a stock, no matter what, always multiply the entry point by times 0.93, and that'll give you a 7% stop loss. And type that number in as your stop loss number and put it in good to cancel. And I know that there's a you'll be tempted to change that if you see it going down, but just stick with that, and believe me, that will help tremendously in your trading. It helped me, and it's just something I've implemented ever since, and I think that it will help you a lot. So hopefully we're going to make your back, Mohammed, and we're going to make back your money here. So so hopefully I can help you with that, because I'll be trading Tesla, and I do think there's going to be some trading opportunities, especially coming into Battery Day. I think the next real big opportunity is going to be Battery Day. I think it's going to be the day after Battery Day, and I do think there will be a pullback. So don't buy it now. Wait until Battery Day. See what happens. It'll probably ramp up into Battery Day, and then as Battery Day happens, it'll pull back from that, and that may be a buying opportunity. So I'm going to be following that as well, and I'll be following that in the small portfolio. So more than likely, with the Tesla trade in the small portfolio, the way I'll be playing it is I'll be playing it right into Battery Day, and then I'll probably sell either on or the day before, and then hopefully we will see what happens. We'll see how it trades. Usually, even if the news is super good, and this is one of the reasons why I always try to sell my positions right before earnings, usually there's a pullback and there's a good opportunity to come back in. So that's kind of what I'd like to say on that. Comments on Federal Express for tomorrow. Federal Express has been strong, of course, with this COVID thing, because everybody's getting packages, and there they go. So is it? I think FedEx was that it? Oh yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. FDX is the symbol. FDX. And let's look at Federal Express. Boy, that's looking strong. Wow, they had really good earnings. Earnings are due tonight. So if you're in the stock right now, my recommendation to you, and you're probably not going to like to hear this, but I'll give it to you anyways, because this is a free channel, so it's a free country. What I'd recommend doing is selling it right now, right before they come out with earnings, and that's going to be in a few minutes. And then see how they do, and then after they come out, you may be able to buy this thing on the other side a little bit cheaper. So that's what I always like to do. I don't like to hold things through earnings, folks, because a lot of times there is a bump, and then once that happens, there's a pullback, and then that's a great buying opportunity. So this is on FedEx, another great company, and I think they're going to have a pretty good blowout quarter. It's looking like the volume is up on this very high, so there's a lot of excitement. I think they're going to have a very, very good number, it looks like. I mean, even with all of this COVID thing, Federal Express is hiring, and a lot of other companies aren't. So that's the way it is. Hey to you. Okay, so what's your prediction on Tesla? Well, I certainly am not. I'm not really in the prediction business. I'm more in the follow the chart business, and that said, so what I want to say for you is how Tesla is trading. Let me show you kind of how Tesla is trading, and again, because I think it's of a lot of interest to people, I'm going to look at the weekly chart. This is sort of how we look for trends. So let's look at the weekly chart. This is going to show you a split adjusted chart. So it's been trading up. It's trading right up this 50-day moving average. So currently, the 50-day moving average, I suspect that that's at 357. So if we had a pullback If we have a pullback, folks, you want to buy it about 357, okay? You want to buy it for if we have a pullback. I don't think we'll have a pullback until we reach probably 500 or 475. Then I think we're likely to get a little bit of a pullback. If we get a pullback, it'll pull back to this. It'll pull back again to the 50-day moving average, and then once it does, you want to sell it and then wait, and then once it reverses direction again, you want to buy it and move it up. That's exactly what I did. Coming off the split, is that I sold all my positions before right before the split on and that was on August 31st. I then waited for it to come through the split. I then tried to buy several times, but was unsuccessful, and I had to move out of my positions very quickly. This time, though, I'm more confident. I think it reached a level that it pulled back to that. When it pulled back to the 50-day moving average, that's when it reversed. So it looks as if Tesla likes to move and then pull back to that 50-day, and then once it pulls back, it reverses. So if you look at this very carefully, you'll notice it doesn't pull below. It only once, and this was where I had a little bit of trouble. It was a fake out for me. Is it pulled back? It pulled below the 50-day moving average, but just then slightly, and then it reversed upwards. So that's what we're looking for really to get the most to buy the best point, is watch this, and as it pulls back to the 50-day moving average, when it pulls back to that, that's the time to buy it, and then it will move higher. So it's a volatile stock, but it typically tends to adhere to that rule, at least for right now, and it's been that way since about the March timeframe. So that's kind of my suggestion for Tesla. So let's see, what is this? Hey, Tigo, from Madrid, a place I've always wanted to go. Man, I have always wanted to go there. It is one of the most beautiful. I want to go to the Prado. Actually, that's on my bucket list. Anyways, so I shouldn't get into that, but you just live in a beautiful, beautiful city. And a city I want to visit very, very much. Okay, seems the market doesn't like Apple event merits. And then, okay, how do I see it? Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about Apple. Apple is I own Apple, just for full disclosure. I own Apple currently. I owned it prior to the split, and I then sold it, and then I bought it after the split. My buy price wasn't, it could have been better. I bought it at about 106, which isn't bad. But I could get better on that. I do think it's going up, but I don't think it's going to rocket like Tesla is, mainly because it's so widely held. But here's the thing: I'm probably going to be selling my Apple right before their, right when they announce their new products. I typically like to do that. I like to buy on anticipation and then sell. So that's kind of like what I like to do. It's pulled back, as you can see. Currently, I think we'll be okay until I'm going to be selling it probably when it reaches about 128. And the reason I am is because the way Apple is trading is it's pulling back to the 40-day moving average, and then it's bouncing, and it looks like it's bouncing off there now. So believe it or not, the next few days, and I'll switch to the daily chart, if it definitely didn't quite get down to the 50-day, but it's bounced right here. It's moving up. Once it crosses the 21-day moving average, that's this green line here. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me put it up. Well, you can't see it, so there we go. It's this green line right here. Once it crosses that, it will probably confirm higher. I'm figuring it's going to be about 135 before it's going to top out. It's a channel here, and I need to start marking these charts up with channels here. But I do believe it's pulled back down to the 50-day. I think it's going to bounce, and I think it's going to move above the 21-day moving average. So because we have nice volume there, so I do think it is moving up. But it's been a little bit disappointing. I agree with you on that. And by the way, I would love to visit if I'm ever in Madrid. If you could send me your phone number, that would be a great thing. Tell me where the good restaurants and stuff. I'm sure there's many there. Anyways, thank you for that comment so much. Will Tesla go higher? I have made a small profit. Should I sell or wait a bit? You know what? I believe that you should wait about a little bit on this one, and here's why I want to show you. We just did a reversal on Tesla. And that is it's good, but I don't think that I want to show you the daily chart here, so it shows you what I'm talking about when I'm talking about this. Thank you for this question. This is a great question. We have what happened was that you bought at the right time as it passed through this 21-day line. This is the green line here. That's when it started to move up. I do believe you were going to see it move up to right before battery day. I think we're going to get it to about 475, maybe a little bit higher, but I believe that the best day probably to sell this is going to be the day of or before battery day. So that's but it is not it's not in stone. But I think you can make a little bit more profit. I don't think it's time to sell it right yet, but I think it is going to be the time. And then when it starts to move. I do think it will reverse on battery day. Not much, but it will reverse because no stock goes up straight. So that's where it is. Hi, how's a good point for Tesla and Apple? What's your way to the big buy? Wow, good question. The best buy point for Tesla, and you're not going to like me hearing that, is saying this right now, and I don't know if it'll pull back this far, is 408. For Tesla, and why am I saying that? Because that is the 21-day moving average. Now, I don't think we're going to see it move down to 408 until after battery day. I think what's going to happen is it's going to move up towards battery day. I think in about 475 or so. Then once battery day happens, it's going to pull back, and I think it's going to pull back in the 408 to 415 level. I'll have to see exactly where this 21-day is at that point. But when it pulls back to that, then it's going to be the next buying opportunity. Right now, it's not really. It's accelerating upwards. We've had good volume. The last real buy point was on Friday. It was Friday and Monday, and I was buying, of course, on Friday, but I didn't go in heavy enough. I only went in with a half position initially, and then when it confirmed on Monday, I then went in with 2.5 positions. But that's kind of my take on it. So I don't think it's. I think that it will move up a little bit from here to battery day. If you wanted to do a short-term trade, you could basically buy it here and then wait until before battery day, and I think that's probably going to be the high for the stock is going to be right before battery day. So let's look at Apple, and it's a little bit more tricky on Apple to find the buy point. Really, the buy point on this is going to be about 109, but the thing is I don't think it's going to pull back to there. I do think that it is going to continue its upward motion, but the real buy signal for Apple is going to be if it closes above the 21-day moving average, and that's 120. So right now, Apple is trading at about 115. If it moves above 120, I think it's going to be a better buy than right now, because once it confirms to the upside, I think if it goes to 120, it's going to go higher. I think if it doesn't go to 120, it's probably going to stick in a trading range. Okay, so if you're willing to do that to a trading range, the trading range currently for Apple seems to be from about 110 to about 120. That seems to be the trading range for it. Now, so we're at 115, so we're halfway between. So it's really a toss-up. I would like to see it either move back to 110 before I bought it, or move above 120. But in the middle, I don't really want to do anything because it hasn't really confirmed either way. So that is that's my evasive answer on that question. But I thank you for the question. Okay, Costco, please. I have been holding 380 calls. October 20 earnings. Oh. Okay. Let's look at Costco. Thank you for that question. That's a good question. And Costco, and BOL. Okay, let me see how I would trade this one. COST is the symbol. So let me pull up Costco, and I want to look thank you for giving me this information. This gives me some good information and how I would potentially trade this one. Okay, we're right above the buy zone right now. It looks as if, okay, we've got earnings in 9 days. Wow, we had a pivot. Okay, let me show you what I'm looking at, so to give you kind of an idea of how I'm coming up with this. Okay, so currently it is trading above the 21-day. That's very good. So it's a hold right now. You know what? Here's how I would play this one. You've got calls, right? Okay, you've got calls. Okay, I would be looking to sell those calls. I would be looking to sell those calls on the 23rd or the 22nd. I wouldn't hold those through earnings. Absolutely not. Look to find if you can unload those calls before earnings. Look to see if you can unload those calls before earnings. I think that's what you want to do on this one. That's a very good question. If you're holding calls, I don't think it's going to collapse because it's trading above the 21-day line, which is good. That's support. So I do think that if you were to hold it right before earnings, then sell your calls. Don't try not to hold these through earnings. I think you could get shellacked if you did. I really do. So that's a good question, man. Okay, about question. Wait a little bit. Okay, I think I talked a little bit about Tesla. So let's see, Jim, what's a good buy point now for Tesla and Apple? Okay, I think I already answered that one. So maybe I got to see if I can go on here. Okay, great. Thanks, Patrick. Can you please advise on VSLR? Okay, let's look at VSLR. Let's look at that chart to see VSLR. All right, man. Oh, it would happen if I put it in there right. I just got a new keyboard, folks, and it's working great. It's just I'm not working so great. It's the new keyboard is, it's amazing how much what I did is I cleaned my old keyboard and it shorted it out, so I had to go get a new keyboard. So I'm glad I did. Yeah, this looks like it's right in the channel. It looks like it's going to be holding. Here's what I would do on this one. I do think you're going to get a pullback on this. You're due for a pullback, but I think what it's going to do is it's going to trade up to about 35, and I think about 35, and then I believe you're going to have a pullback. Now, what did you say that you had? Okay. On VSLR. Okay, I do think right now it's trading at 33.70, 33.47. I do believe it's going to trade up probably to about 35. That's what it's looking like based on the channel. Now, when it gets up there, you want to sell it because I don't think it's going to move much beyond, at least in this movement, I don't think it's going to move much beyond 35. So what I would do is I would hold it until 35. I would set my stop losses up very tight, and then as they came down, sell it, because that's my opinion. It's at the top of its range, but it will pull back and then it will go higher because it looks like it's doing a kind of a support resistance channel. So that's kind of what it's looking at. Hey, wow! I'm all the way from England. I am honored. I am honored. You know what? We have our intern here. Actually, he's kind of old. Oh, well, he's not here. I can say that. He's actually from Wales originally. Yeah, but he's lived in the U.S. for a long time. But he's from Wales. So you're in. Oh, you're in Cheltenham. Okay. Oh no, what city are you? Yeah, you'll have to message me. I'm just curious where you are in England. But thank you. Thank you very much. You're in Cheltenham. Okay, got it. Okay, great. Thank you, man. Thank you for watching me so much. Tesla's getting dumped right now. Well, okay. Let's see if it is. I don't know if it is. Let me just get the live chart here. It doesn't appear to be. It doesn't appear to be. It appears to be up. Today, I don't think it's getting dumped. Doesn't look like it. We've got extraordinary buying volume. I don't know where you get that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe I think I'm looking at the bats, which is I don't think it's. Maybe it is. Maybe the level 2 is getting dumped, but I don't see it. Maybe it'll reverse. I'll look into that. Thank you. Apple. Okay. Hey, Arnold, how you doing? I hope that sunny California is treating you well. I kind of miss it. I love California. And, of course, I was born there. Grew up in Southern California. And I'm here in Texas now, but I love California very, very much. Okay, so let's look at Apple. Again, here's the thing. It's in this sort of weird trading range from about 110 to about 120. If it goes down to 110, I would buy it. If it goes above 120, I would buy it, but right in the middle, I don't really see it. Now, I do own it, by the way. I bought it about I bought it about 106, so I bought it a little bit lower, but I do think it's in a consolidation range between about 110 and about 120. It needs to break out of that. It's trading right now below the 21 day, so I do think it has to move above the 21 day for a clear buy, or move down to the 50 day for a clear buy. But right now, I think it's kind of lost in space there. I think it's kind of, it's sort of in between, and it doesn't seem to want to budge. So I would be a buyer below at 110 and below, 110 if it bounced, and I would be a buyer if it went above 120. I probably wouldn't be a buyer at 115 right now. That's just my opinion. Okay, it was text my friend, oh, Tesla, just caused less. Okay, how about the new IPO Snowflake? Snowflake is going to be very big, but I want to caution everybody about IPOs. I have some experience with IPOs. I'm not great with them. Just for full disclosure, I actually bought the Google IPO, if you believe it. That's a long time ago. That was back in 2000 and 2001. I think I was working for Pratt & Whitney at the time, and I thought I was so smart because it traded up. It traded up, but now, and I didn't hold it. So, anyways, I would have been a different station in life had I. But anyways, I don't think you should buy it on the open. I don't. Let's see how it trades. I think Snowflake is going to be big. Warren Buffett is in it. There's a lot of people that are in it. It's a great, data warehouses are a big deal, are an absolute big deal. But let's wait until about 3 months. Let's see it confirm. I'm going to do a special on, hopefully, on I'm going to do a special on how to trade IPOs, because I think there's a lot of interest in that. IPOs have a very specific signature. Typically, when an IPO opens, it will trade down for the first month, and then it will bottom, and then typically, as it's being kicked up by analysts, that's when it will start to move. So the optimum time typically to buy an IPO is in the third month, and I can show you that on a chart if it conforms to a chart pattern that I will be putting out there. That's a great question, but I will not be personally. I'm not going to be in Snowflake at the open at the IPO. I just don't think it's gonna. I think it's going to trade down after it's open, but I could be so wrong on this. I have been wrong many times, but I think the optimum time for buying Snowflake is going to be about 3 months after the IPO. But I'm very interested in the stock, and I think it's a great opportunity. All right, so Tesla buy sell. Right now, Mr. Malone, there will be a big IV crash after battery day. Seems like yeah, okay. That's a good question. This is one of the reasons why I'm probably going to be a seller right before battery day. I'm probably going to be a seller of my Tesla, because I do think it will pull back. It seems to work that way. So that's an astute observation. I really appreciate it. Okay, buy point on Google. Buy point on Google. Wow. Let's see if I can get a good buy point on Google. And of course, as you know, it's really called Alphabet, and I used to own this stock a long time. So it's let's see, what is it? GOGL. I think it's a GOG. I should know this. Yeah, there we go. GOGL. No, that's Golden State. No, GOOG. GOO. Is it OOG? Oh, there it is. Alphabet. Yeah. Okay. GOOG. Okay, great. Old Google, new Alphabet. Okay, wow, this is really interesting. Let's look at this chart. Let's first of all look at the weekly chart to see kind of what the action is. And I haven't been trading Google, so I'll be honest with you. I haven't been trading this one. This is a tremendous stock. It's a little bit expensive. I mean, at $1,500. But remember, folks, even though it's a really expensive stock, you don't have to buy. You can buy one share. You can buy only one share and do great. And I probably should be doing this for the small portfolio, because it looks like it's pulled back to the 40-day line. So it looks like it's going to move up off this line. And they had very good earnings, up 27%. Wow. Okay, now there's a lot of selling going on right now for Google. Interestingly enough, I want to see a solid reversal above the 21 days. So let's look at the daily. where I have that stashed. Okay, here's what's happening with Google. It seems to be clustered around the 50-day, which is at basically 1542. I want to see, before I'll buy Google, I want to see it confirm above 1584. I want to see it above 1580 before I'll consider buying it. Right now, I would not be a buyer of Google. I would not be a buyer of Google based on this chart, because I do believe it's pulled back to the 50-day moving average. Let's see if it moves up. If it moves up then to the 21-day and it confirms over the 21-day, then I think we have a buy. But right now, be very careful with Google. It looks like it may not hold on to the 50-day moving average. And if it doesn't, then it's going to move to a newer, lower trading range. And I hope that doesn't happen, but it might. So I'm not a buyer right now on Google. On Beyond Meat. Okay. Beyond Meat. Very interesting company. As you know, it's a very favorite of a lot of millennials. And I have traded it. I've never. Let's see. Let's get the symbol for Beyond Meat. And Beyond Meat symbol. Yeah, I definitely. There we go. Beyond Meat. Beyond Meat symbol. All right. Okay, and it's BYND is the symbol for Beyond Meat. So let's go Beyond Meat. BYND, Beyond. Okay, great. All right. Well, it's moved above. Okay. Wow, you're not going to like to hear this, but I will give it to you anyways. There we go. Here is the chart. This is the weekly. This is how, by the way, when I read charts, here's how I do it. I start with a weekly chart first, because that is going to give me some direction. And then I look at the daily charts for entry and exit points. So currently, we are in a trading range. Look at that. So there is a buy point on this bad boy. It's a consolidation at 167. Now, the problem is it's trading at 146, so that's not a good place to buy it. So let's go over to the daily chart, and wow, okay, it just, no. Unfortunately, I'm not going to buy Beyond Meat. Beyond Meat is going to have to be, I'm only going to buy Beyond Meat if I can get, if I can find it at 167 or better. So Beyond Meat, in order to buy Beyond Meat. Now, I know this doesn't sound logical. You say, why would I want to buy something higher when I can buy it lower, right? Because we all want to buy low and sell high, right? Well, forget about that. That is bad advice. That is the advice that I followed for the first 10 years of my trading. And guess what? I had terrible results. Then I studied William O'Neill, and I realized that we don't want to buy low and sell high. We want to buy high and sell higher. So in order for us to buy Beyond Meat, we have to buy it at a high enough level. It has to confirm, and it is not confirmed right now. It is at 146, and it needs to be at, and let's look at that number again. Yeah, it needs to be at 167. So if it goes above 167 on strong volume, then we can possibly think about buying it. Right now, it isn't even a watch list. So, unfortunately, I'm sorry to tell you that news about Beyond Meat. Okay, so no Luis Hernandez. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I will note that down. Thank you very much. Apple, I've covered Apple a little bit. Okay. Where can we see the stuff? Well, hopefully you'll be able to see it on, like Nair. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. I'll be able to see this. Now, if you can't catch all the show, and look, I know that I'm on for an hour, but a lot of times people don't have that much time. Always, you can. All of the episodes are archived on YouTube at youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. So, if you want to see what I am talking about and kind of what the buy points are. By the way, on trade alerts, I do put out trade alerts, and I'm going to be revamping the other system to give us real-time trade alerts. We're working on that. It's not there yet, but you can get those by going to www.Dallas Trading Floor and signing up there. So that is a way to get those trade alerts. All right. So is it free or a paid service? No, it's free. I am probably maybe I'm stupid. Okay, maybe I'm stupid, but I, many years ago, was given a chance by somebody who taught me a little bit about trading, and it's been an interest of mine ever since. So I kind of want to pay it forward to some extent. So I'm trying to make this as free as possible, and we are a little bit stretched on the resources. We do have interns, and we are getting better, but I want to make this as free as possible. So it's totally free, by the way. You don't have, you can look at it and you don't, and you can, you don't have to pay anything really. So, I hope though that you will subscribe to the YouTube channel and subscribe to me, because that does help me a little bit. And also, some of the books that I recommend that you read, if you could buy them through my website, that helps me too. I appreciate that. But yeah, it's pretty much free. It's pretty much free. Apple. Okay, well, Apple really is in a trading range. I wouldn't really be buyer Apple right now. I'd want to see it go above 120 before I would consider buying it. I am in Apple currently, but I do believe about 120 is the buy point for Apple. Because you didn't count. Unfortunately, we didn't get the last one. So, NOVA. Let's look at Nova, and that is NOVA. Great. Let's look at Nova. All right, there we go. Sonova Energy. Well, it's moving up. It provides a residential solar. Okay, great. It's pretty good. 97% relative strength. That's nice. It does a downward trending line, but it's moved up. I think it's okay. I wouldn't really recommend it either way, unfortunately. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't really recommend it anyway. It's okay. I would watch list it maybe, but that's about it. Documentum, DOCU. Now this one has been on my list. This has been on my list before. Documentum. I mean, not Documentum. DocuSign. Excuse me. That shows my age. Documentum was a company in the early 2000s in San Ramon, California, that I had some involved with. So, just for full disclosure here. Now let's look at this. Let's look at the chart for DocuSign. I don't think you want to be in DocuSign right now, based on this chart. We have fallen below the 50-day moving average, and it doesn't look like it until it confirms above the 21-day. That's this green line here. I don't think you want to be in it. So I would maybe put this on the watch list, but you don't want to. If you've lost more, if you're down more than 7% in this, sell it. If it moves, it may be watch list. Just don't buy this thing right now, even though it has a 97 rating. Let's wait for it to turn. Let's wait for it to move above the 21-day moving average before we get into it. This is kind of like a Tesla thing. There was a blow off top here. That's typically a short squeeze, and it looks as if if this thing can go above. If this thing can go above about if this thing can go above about 216, that's when you want to buy it. You don't want to buy it before. That's my 2 cents on on that. But I thank you for that. It's a good company. It's just the chart pattern right now. It's a pullback from a short squeeze. I want to see it move above that 21-day line in order to hopefully move better. SPAC buy point. Well, I don't really think there is a SPAC buy point because I don't know what they're buying. So, there are a lot of people that are doing SPAC investing that are great, but I don't know. Oh, Bobby on the talk. Hey, man, I haven't talked to you for a while. Bobby on the talk on FedEx earnings. Let's look at this. The FedEx earnings are going to be blowout, but if you still, I think it's after hours. But let's take a look at FedEx. Wow, it's up after hours, so that must have been really good earnings. Really good earnings. Okay, it's right below buy point. Interesting. Okay, the buy point on FedEx for Bobby is 64.77. We're at 64, so I'm going to put that there. The FedEx X buy point is equal to. Let's look at that. 64.77. 64.77. So it's right there. It's is 64.77. So that's really right. Yeah. Okay. There we go. So there you go. There's the there's the FedEx buy point. But don't buy it until don't wait until after earnings. Probably is the best time. Lulu buy-in, Lululemon. It is truly amazing how a company with just yoga pants could do so well. Wow. Unfortunately, it's fallen. It's fallen, and I can't get up. No, when you see this on a chart, you want to be very cautious. This is a red line. This is your 50-day moving average. It looks as if this stock has collapsed below the line. Let's see if this thing has some support. It doesn't look like it. There's been a lot of selling. It's the highest selling since the last pivot. Man, people are going to sell this one. This may be a short, by the way, folks. Lululemon may be a short. Now, if it moves below the 200-day moving average, which is it's about 252. I think this one may be a short. I'm going to put this down on my shorting list. Lululemon. I think this one has gotten a little bit ahead of itself. I'm going to put short list. And that famous term, I'm shortlisted you. Well, I've just shortlisted. Snow is opening tomorrow. Is it a buy or no buy? No buy. No buy. No buy. No buy. Don't buy it. Don't buy Snow before. Don't buy it for about 3 months. Let's see how it trades. Because here's the thing, folks, about Snow. And I'm going to put this up on a banner. This is the thing about Snow. You want to be super duper careful, because typically when when something opens up, so I'm going to put Snow, don't buy Snow on open, wait 3 months. And I'm just going to kind of put that up, open. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of put that up there to see if. So, this is kind of what. Oops. This is kind of what. Say, I don't think you should buy Snow on its open, on its IPO, because here's the thing: when you buy out, this is a great stock. It probably probably is going to be extremely successful. So let me just put that out there. But when you're buying an IPO, you're betting against the big brokerage houses. You really are, and it's very, very hard to win against them. So typically, what happens when something IPOs, even if it's the very best stock, and this is exactly what happened to Microsoft. It actually traded down. Snow is going to trade down probably, at least in the first few weeks, maybe in the first few months. Typically, it will turn at about the third month. So I want to put this on the watch list, but I don't want to be trading it. I don't want to be trading it as it opens. Okay, so that's my 2 cents on that. Are you investing long term? Well, I am. I'm investing in cash long term. That's my favorite investment, cash. So everything I'm doing is to accumulate cash, okay? So I don't care if I'm investing in Tesla. I don't care if I'm investing in anything. I just eventually want to turn that into cash. But yes, I am investing long term, and I like to extract cash from the market, and that's sort of what I do. So that's the deal. I got a debit spread on Tesla expiring 10 to buy call it for 500 and sell for 505. Ooh. By the way, there is a site out there that can, let's see if I can give you some insight on that. That is a potentially very interesting. So let's see if we can look at that. So you've got a debit. Well, I can't really do it. I don't have enough time. But I think that if you are positive, I think you probably want to exit that for right now. What's your YouTube? I can't find it. Oh, goodness. My YouTube, for everybody out there, is youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor, all one word, Dallas Trading Floor. And this is episode number 131, the number sign 131 altogether. So to get right to this, it's YouTube /Dallas Trading Floor, all one word, the number sign 131. And so it's Dallas Trading Floor number 131. Thank you for that question. I need to put stickers up on the screen. By the way, if you want to sign up for the web page and everything like that, and you're on TikTok, super easy. All you have to do is go to my profile, hit the link, you'll be taken directly to the sign up page. So thank you for that. What price will you sell Tesla? I'm probably going to sell it above 475. That's my guess. Maybe as high as 500, but I'm going to sell it probably right before battery day, and then I'm going to see how battery day does. If it's a pullback, I'm going to be buying it again. So that's quite kind of how I trade Tesla. I trend to buy it and run up, and then I sell it before a big event, and then wait and then try to buy it again and do the same. So that's kind of the rinse and repeat on that. Would you short Tesla next week? No, I will not short Tesla. And the reason I won't short Tesla is because Tesla is kind of, normally I would probably, I don't like to short in a market that's in a uptrend. Right now we're in an uptrend. We're under uptrend under pressure. The market is, but I don't like to short in a market that's in a confirmed uptrend or a uptrend under pressure. Now, if it's in correction, I am short. But right now I am not shorting, just because I don't like to be wrong. And it's very much easy in a market that's in a confirmed uptrend. It's easier to be wrong than it is to be right. So that's the reason I'm not shorting it. Okay, great. Thank you, man. NEO, is it a buy? You know, I've made money on NEO, as you can see from my smart portfolio. By the way, that's available at DallasTradingFloor.com, and just sign up for that. And you'll see how I've traded NEO. NEO is an interesting one. I think you can make money on it. And it definitely has moved up once again. So it's just one of these trading stocks. It's really in a profit-taking zone right now. It's about 24% up from pivot. So it's probably a good time to possibly get back in it again. But again, this is not a long-term investment stock, folks. This is a trading stock. And so let me kind of see. It looks like it's pivot. Yeah, it's in a profit-taking zone. But I do think that it could pull as high, potentially. Well, it doesn't really have much more to run there, does it? It looks like it could run up to about 22. If I were trading this one, I probably wouldn't buy it at this point. I would wait till it pulls back to about $15, but then I would probably buy it if it pulls back to about 15 to 15.50 on NEO. But right now, watch list it. It's not exactly the right time to trade it. But that's a very good question, by the way. Let's take the last two questions from YouTube. Boy, this is great. How can I ask a question? Absolutely. Just type in the question. I'll try to answer it on the screen. Or if I don't get it when I'm on the air, if you could just go to my website, www.DallasTradingFloor, and then ask a question, put it in there, and I'll try to answer it offline. Thank you for that very, very much. Very, very much. Okay, afternoon, Jim. Do you have any thoughts on NEO for long-term investment? I don't think it's a long-term investment. I don't think NEO is a long-term investment, but it's a great trading vehicle. You can make money on the swings of it. Right now, it's in an ascent. I don't want to buy it. I want to wait until it pulls back and then reverses. Here's how I like to buy stocks. I like to buy stocks that have moved up, and then they reverse down to a support level. Typically, it's either a 21-day moving average, a 50-day moving average, or a base pattern, and then they reverse. And when they reverse, I'm in it. That's exactly how I traded Tesla going from Friday into Monday. So that's a great way to trade it. But right now, not so much. Apple is in a trading range. JCPenney. Okay, NEO is all. Yeah, I think it is too. But remember, here's the thing. When you're trading, it doesn't necessarily have... Remember, this is sort of speculation. This is about the future. This is not about the present. So even though NEO is probably a paper tiger, you can still make money. You can still make money on it. So always remember that. It's not necessarily bad. JCP. I think JCP is bankrupt, if I'm not mistaken, and I think Amazon was trying to buy them. I did have a JCPenney bond, but I sold it. Thank goodness. Yeah, okay, it's bankrupt. Unfortunately, JCP is no more. It is bankrupt. And this, by the way, this is kind of the deal that that they're going to have. JCPenney, great store. As a matter of fact, I'm still shopping there. It's under bankruptcy protection right now, so they are technically operating, but they are not on the stock market. They're probably going to get sold. I'm thinking that Amazon may be the buyer for them, but for right now, they're this is the danger of buying a stock like Macy's or something like that, retail stocks, because they're very vulnerable to going out of business, unfortunately. And it's really with great sadness that I say that, because I do like JCPenney, and they have a lot of good stuff there. I think Amazon probably, they've been in talks. I don't know if they're going to do it. Okay, will Snowflake have options available when it IPOs? Probably not. Typically, for IPOs to happen, it needs to be seasoned a little bit. It might, but look to, if the stock can make it to about the $50 level, I think then we'll see options. But then I don't really think that you should be trading it until about 3 months, because it needs to settle down. Because I do think it's going to open, it's going to move up, and then it's going to move down. So I don't think you want to be caught in that downdraft. It should stabilize at about 3 months. So there you go. Well, I have spent an hour and a little over an hour, and I thank you everybody for being on today. It's so fun for me to do this. And by the way, if you want to see my trade alerts, it's super duper easy. All you have to do is go to www.Dallas Trading Floor, and that is, and I'll put that up on the screen, youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. And by the way, if you do go to my YouTube site, which I highly recommend, please do this. Hit that like button. There it is. Hit that like button. Why? Because I need to keep on the air. I need to have subscribers, and I just thank everyone here. I will be back tomorrow at 2:30. It's always a pleasure. And in between times, if you have a question, Dallas Trading Floor, ask a question. I'll try to get